Welcome everyone. A lot of you guys have asked for a review of Hex Gaming's Elite controllers, so today we're going to be checking out the Rival controller for PlayStation 5. This is a 2 back paddle build. They do have a 4 back paddle build. That's the Ultimate. And then they also have controllers for Xbox Series X and even the old PlayStation 4 controllers. We'll be checking those out in future videos, but today we're just going to be looking at the Rival. Hex Gaming is a sister company to Extreme Rate. For those of you who don't know, Extreme Rate really hit the ground running with their DIY customized kits. You could add back buttons onto your controller yourself or just completely overhaul and aesthetically change your controller yourself. So I'm excited to check this controller out. I have no promo or discount codes for you guys, just my honest thoughts on the build. All right, let's kick it off with the aesthetics. We've got a blue wave across the front face and touchpad, blue front buttons and top bumpers, blue anti-friction rings, and white thumbsticks. In the rear, we've got a textured backplate for added grip. And lastly, I went with the white back paddle setup. Overall, I've got to say, this is a really beautiful build. And I feel it's important to mention, they have several decked out pre-builds for these controllers on Amazon. And if you go into their website, there's no shortage of customization options in their full builder. But enough about the aesthetics of the controller, let's start looking at the performance aspects of this build. So I went with the Fast Shot digital press buttons. These are commonly referred to as hair triggers because you don't have that full travel time on any of your bumpers or your L2 and R2. These are really beneficial for shooter games. If you're into racing games or games that rely on the measuring of the travel of the L2 and the R2 buttons to interact with the game properly, then these might not be for you. I personally primarily play shooter games, so I had to test out their Fast Shot triggers. And these were implemented really well into the build. A short travel time, quick reset, and crisp, clean actuations. Next up on performance, every Rival controller comes with their 6-in-1 interchangeable thumbsticks. So we have 3 different heights and 2 different thumbstick designs, being concave or domed. Really easy to swap these out, just takes a couple of seconds. I prefer to run a standard height on my left thumbstick and a heightened right thumbstick for that extra axis leverage to aim with. Definitely nice that this is a modular setup, so you can keep swapping out and find the right height and style for you. Now the back paddle setup is different than any that I have looked at here on the channel. We've reviewed a lot of controllers. So this hub in the back has our 2 back paddles, and the Ultimate has 4, which we'll cover in a different video. And I am a really hard critic of back paddle setups, back button setups. I'm normally really harsh because it's just the most important aspect of any Elite controller. And I've got to admit, this is a really well-designed setup. I've got medium to large size hands, and even if I had small hands, these paddles would be easy to access and use. They fit the natural curve of the controller and they fall right under your fingertips. The actuation itself requires very little pressure and has a mouse-like click to it. It's got a very short travel time and it's quick to reset for rapid presses. And here's what the back buttons sound like. Really crisp, like mouse-like click sound. Yeah. So I was intentionally really rough on these back paddles because I want to see how durable they are and if I can get them to break. So what I would do is I would be just really rough with them. Pull down on the paddles as hard as I could, push them in directions that they don't want to go. And the way they're designed, they float just barely off the back of the controller and they're contoured perfectly for the controller. So if you push really hard on one of the paddles, they just touch the back wall of the controller and it won't let you go any further. And they're really durable. When it comes to remapping on this controller, it's pretty easy. All you need to do is have the controller on, press and hold the center button in the back of that hub. After about 2 or 3 seconds, you'll see a red light at the top of that hub. Then you just press and hold the input you want mapped. So let's say we want to remap X. We'll press and hold X, and then we would press and hold the paddle that we want it mapped to. The red light will flash 2 or 3 times, and then let go, and you're done. Remapping complete. And then if you want to completely reset all the mappings on the controller, you just need to press and hold the L1, R1, the top diagonal, the left diagonal, triangle, and circle button all at the same time, which is much harder to do while I'm holding it this way. But you press and hold all those inputs at the same time. The red light on the back of this hub will flash 2 or 3 times, and there you go, completely reset. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the pros and cons of this Hex Gaming Elite controller. Kicking it off with the pros, they're using all original controllers that they're modding off of. This is important to me because out of all the controllers we've reviewed here on the channel, the ones that are built off of official controllers have always been the most consistent. They're just much less likely to have connection or syncing issues, whether or not we're talking about console or PC. And there's a lot less room for error as well, because controllers that are built from the ground up or engineered from the ground up, they tend to have more issues. So controllers like Astro A40 or Nacon, I've just experienced much more issues with those controllers than controllers that were actually modded off of the original builds. Just my experience. Another really big pro for Hex Gaming is that they have a ton of these pre-built controllers ready to go on Amazon with Prime shipping. And to me, that's kind of a big deal, because if I built a controller with BattleBeaver or with Scuff Gaming, I would typically have to wait weeks, if not up to a month plus, to receive the controller, because there's kind of a wait to have the controller run through their assembly process and be built. So the option to just pick out a pre-built ready to go on Amazon with Prime shipping, it's pretty awesome. The fact that all their controllers are modular, so we can just swap out thumbstick styles and heights in literally a couple seconds and try and find what's right for us without having to buy a pair of control freaks, is definitely nice. I know I just said this, but the back paddle setup is A1. It's really well done. I love the design as far as the way that it fits in the hand. It's just ergonomic. They're very light to press. I like the mouse-like feel as far as the click and actuation. I love how quick they are to reset for rapid presses. And out of all the paddle setups that I've tried on controllers, this 2-paddle setup has to be one of the best that I've tried yet. Aesthetically, the controller came to me perfect. All the little nitpicky options that I ordered in their builder were right on the money, and it didn't have any like damage or flaws on the build itself, so that was nice. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. How does this controller look? Because I think it looks pretty damn cool. Now let's go ahead and get into the cons of this Elite controller. And I don't have a lot of complaints. I really like this build. As far as a 2-paddle setup, it's executed and designed really well. But there is one major con for Elite controllers that's kind of universal throughout all the Elite controllers, whether or not it's like Scuff, BattleBeaver, Astro, Xbox Elite controllers, they're all really expensive. They hit the $200 ballpark pretty easily. This controller was about 280 bucks, not the most expensive controller that I've reviewed. I think there was an Evil controller that I'd reviewed that was like 300 plus easy. But this build, 280 bucks easy. A lot of their builds on Amazon hit that mark, but they are fully decked out. I know if you go with a base model, no aesthetic options, just the modular thumbsticks and the 2 back paddles, that'll run you 200 flat before you start going in and customizing the controller. So Elite controllers in general, throughout all the builds, just haven't been very cheap. The question is, do they get the job done and do it well, and are they going to be durable? So giving you that increased hand utilization, the ability to jump, aim, move, shoot, crouch, lay down, and interact in the games that you like to play, all simultaneously without taking your thumbs off the movement and aiming thumbsticks. That's the big question for me when I review Elite controllers, and I think they did a pretty good job on this build. Hex Gaming does offer a 3-month warranty on all of their controllers, which is nice. I will have that warranty linked for you guys in the description below, as well as a link to their Amazon page and their official website. Overall, I really do like this build. It's performed well for me so far, and I haven't had any issues. I do look forward to testing out their 4 back paddle builds and their Xbox controllers as well. I do hope that this video has helped you in your decision-making process, and if it has, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the content. It's greatly appreciated. Notification Squad, you guys rock. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Peace.